What's up, guys? Welcome back to the episode of Noah's Daily Driven. We are back in the garage, another for episode, wrenching on some more RC cars. So in this episode, we are trying to get the donor cars back to their original state, as in taking our stuff off, making sure the car's good, putting his stuff back in, and then trying to get them back to Abilene for this weekend's race. So let's get this episode started. Alright guys, so we got a little bit of a late start today, but it is Thursday night, and along with working on these cars, we went ahead and popped up the old TV watching some playoff football, and oh my god, if you are not watching the KSC and the Kansas City game and the Bills game, man, you're missing out. It's one heck of a game. Fourth quarter coming down, really good game. All right, as you can see, we have both our donor cars on the workbench. So, like I said, I already have started on the SC mod. Actually, the SC mod is ready to go. I actually got a late start today, later than what I'd like to. Honestly, I would have really liked to have done this earlier than a week, but you know, life, work, family, kids. So, yeah, so pretty much what we did was we took everything off that was ours. There was nothing much really left because we had blown up a motor in this, and then we put another motor in it, whatever. And then when we decided not to run it, we took it off and put it in that car. So there was not much left other than the steering servo. So whenever I first got this car, it was on a Friday night. We took it for a test drive, you know, trying to get it figured out. With the servo, his original servo, I noticed that it was giving us issue where it would not go back to center. So every time I would go back to center or like try to go straight, the steering wheel would stay in a different position, meaning I think the gears were going out or something in his servo. So obviously we had put an MKS servo for our race in here, and you know, he let us borrow the car. I figure at least try to put something in there that would work temporarily for him until he would, you know, try to figure out whatever he would like to put in there. But I do have his original servo back in there. I know you can buy replacement gears and stuff in it, so we'll let him do that. But for meanwhile, since we are going to give him this car back to him Saturday, which is the actual day of racing, I would like for it to be ready, so at least he can go out there and make some laps. The only thing he would have to do is recenter the steering. So all you would have to do is take this center bolt out, turn on your radio, make sure the trim is set on 0 on your radio, and then center this up as possible. And then all you would have to do is sub trim it left or right to fine tune it to where he likes, and that would be ready. So yeah, so this SC mod is ready to go. He is running the RX-8 Tiken RX-8, usually primarily used for like 8-scale racing, short course racing, good ESC. And he's also running a Power Products motor. So this is all his stuff. Everything is back. Now on the transmission, when I went through his transmission and I went to put it together, and something did not feel right. It was almost felt like it was locking up. So although this is a Custom Works based, majority of it is Custom Works based, with exception of a couple of parts, I did go ahead and put one of my own personal transmissions in there. It's got the metal gears. It's actually got a better diff than what it came with, because he had the plastic gears. If you know the Associated, they come with plastic diff, but this is all metal, ready to go. So he is getting it back, hopefully in a better state than he had it. Hopefully, it still has my setup in it from the RC Chili Bowl, which primarily we raced his car in loose dirt conditions, so it'd be a great starting point. And also, the biggest thing too was we had to reset the post so it would fit his body. So this is ready to go. So now we're gonna move on to the sprint car. Obviously, we also took the motor and stuff out of this one, I believe. I can't remember. We'll find out here in a minute when I take it apart. But yeah, so I'm gonna time lapse this one, give you a little bit of a visual of what I do. What we're gonna do is pull this off, and then we're gonna assess what we have, pull our stuff off, give it a wipe down, clean it up, check the bearings, and then we'll go from there. So let me get this time lapse going so y'all can check it out. So we took all of our stuff off. I don't know if you could see that, but this little lever right here for the steering was on there pretty good. Pretty good fight. So it's off. All of our stuff is here. It's ours. All of his stuff is right here. Pretty good setup he has. So I don't know about y'all, but me, I'm really particular about how my cars look, you know. So obviously this was run a couple of times, so I didn't get a chance to blow it off because we made the quick change of stuff. It seems like the shocks feel really good. They don't feel like there's any air in them. You would feel like it because it would feel like really squishy per se. So we're gonna take this off. This is the double-sided tape. And then we're gonna spray some Simple Green on it. And then we're gonna use the air compressor to blow it off and then wipe down anything else. And then we'll go ahead and we'll put quick lubrication on these bearings. But everything feels really good. I mean, this car did not have a lot of runs on it before we decided to switch to my personal car. So this car is in really good shape. Everything's really good. So this should be a really quick setup. So let's go ahead and spray some degreaser and get this thing cleaned up. All right, guys, hopefully y'all can hear me. We got our chassis here. We got it sprayed down pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and remove our double-sided tape. Now, I use Gorilla double-sided tape. It works really, really good. There's some other stuff that works pretty good, but for the most case, this stuff sticks really good. Obviously, dirt gets underneath it a little bit, and then with the spray, it comes right on off. So, I like to use these brushes right here. Pretty much you can grab this. I saw a 3-piece set at AutoZone. You can use these. And pretty much all I just do is just pretty much go throughout the whole car. Give it a nice little wipe down. Especially in between here, the shock collars and stuff is real important. So you can be able to adjust without any kind of issues or hesitation. Check on this side. Down. Let our air compressor refill back. So there you go. Pretty much does a really good job. Took all the dirt out of all the holes. We'll take a rag and we'll go ahead and dry this off. So there you go. A little bit goes a long way. You can see all the set colors are really clean, the threads. So, looks really good. All right, so whenever I was spraying down the chassis, you might could kind of tell that got a little bit of overspray on this. And I did it on purpose because even though this is perfectly fine, you know, for me, I like to keep things clean, so we'll go ahead, just brush this down real quick. We already have this kind of damp from the car, so we'll just blow that off as well. So there you go. A little bit goes a long way, like I said. The least you can do is clean this up, you know, even though you got it dirty or you may have got it back, you know, not in this condition, but, you know, the person let you use his car, he trusted you to do it, so least you can do is go a little bit, go back. Now I will put a little bit of oil right here in this front bushing, we're really bearing, and just take off all this tape, and we'll put some new ones and we'll put it back on the car. All right, so now we're just gonna go ahead. Like I said, we're gonna take all this double-sided tape off of the electronics. We're gonna mount the motor first, and then that'll determine how far we're gonna mount the ESC away. Chassis is pretty much ready to go. So yeah, let's get it. Usually I like to use Gorilla Tape, but I was out, so went up to Walmart and got some Scotch Extreme, I believe. So yeah, this stuff works pretty good so far, so let's go ahead and get this on there. All right, now, so we got everything ready, prepped. So we're pretty much gonna mount the motor on the motor plate right here. Typically I like to face the top side of the soldering up, so like that these wires can flow nice and neat. So we'll put this on there. Once that motor's mounted, then we can determine how far we can run this ESC. And then after that, we'll put the servo on. All right, so as you can see, we got the speed control on. It's a really tight fit right there because the battery has to go on here, and there's the little tabs that holds the battery, so it can't go any further that way. And really, I like to always keep it even as possible with this side, because this is where the side of the body is going to go across, and you don't want it poking out and being exposed to, you know, getting hit while racing. So yeah, so this will go, this edge will be right up against that. So that's there. All right, so next thing is we're gonna put the servo in. It goes in like this. But if you notice, one of the biggest things, my pet peeves, is all this extra wire. Now you can cut these and resolder them, or cut them and then put new ends on them. But if you run multiple cars like I do, and let's say you were to upgrade the servo, this is a really good backup for whatever car you may need. So you never know the distance that you may need it at. So I always try to tuck them in. I'll fold them up underneath right here. And then if you can see here, there's a nice gap underneath this here. So we'll tuck it up and fold it up under here so it'll stay in there. And then right here, he'll put his receiver for his radio, and he'll just have that little short run there. And I'll also go ahead and shorten this end because it's too much. So we'll just tuck it up nice and neat and be ready. All right, just like that, you can see we are done. So what we did here, like I said, I was gonna fold up the cables and fold them underneath the servo. So now I also even zip tied these, made them shorter. I usually use heat shrink, but I didn't have any black big enough to fit around these, so I just do some zip ties. But they're nice and tucked away. All we have is these little short strands here that will go on your receiver. Also, we went ahead and mounted the fan, ran the fan wire to the ESC. Also hooked up the on and off switch, which should be a good position right here. So once the body's on, you can just reach around the back, turn it on. Usually the sprint cars are a pain because the body is on top of it. You have the wing, and it's very narrow. And sometimes if you don't have that switch, trust me, Kevin knows, because my cars are set up. Some of them aren't set up as well as others. But these new switches for the XR10, I guess a G2 series or something like that, are awesome. Also, we went ahead and mounted up his pinion gear. Y'all stay tuned for that video. I'll have a little quick short video on how I set the mesh. Make sure it's not too tight. Also, we went ahead and installed the steering, everything set up. Now, obviously, he's going to do the same thing as the SC mod. He's going to have to take this off, put his receiver on, bind it, turn it on, center everything, make sure it's 0, center it up as best you can, and be good. Also, it was missing its bumper. We put the bumper back on. Car is looking great. Both of them are looking really good. The important thing is all the lug nuts or wheel nuts are on there. See, in this one we did the same thing, but it having so much yellow, I didn't feel so bad putting yellow. So now these are short strands as well. So we are set to go. So yeah. All right, guys. So yeah, so pretty much they're ready to go. Like I mentioned, there's a race coming up this weekend. I even mentioned that I wanted to make it to it, but it seems like, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it. I don't believe Kevin is going to make it. I'm not sure if Silk is going to. I'm hoping I can reach out to somebody who is going to go, so like that I can hopefully ship these cars with them to give them to Cody. I do want to say thanks to Cody for letting me opportunity to drive them. Unfortunately, I know he was having high hopes, hoping that the cars would do good. I was having high hopes for him, but it's just one of those things, you know. We had to make some decisions, and we made it fast, so he just got to run with it. So that's pretty much for it. I do want to start posting videos and making videos, short videos, like I mentioned about the pinion set, just little short, quick videos. I know I tend to ramble a lot and makes these videos a little bit longer, but it is what it is. So, so my next race, I'm kind of gearing to going to a local track. This race that's happening this weekend is called the, what's it called? Brisket Bowl. The last time I went, I think I did very well in both classes that I ran. But unfortunately, we're not going to make it this year, so hopefully everybody has a safe trip up there. It's about 2 hours away from here. It's in Abilene. I'm still have my eye on that shootout race. I can't remember the date. If I can get the flyer, I'll post it up here. It's a big shootout for money. It's not necessarily I want for the money. I just want to go race. But the next race that I want to hit before then, I think will be next week, next Friday. I'm not sure if it's going to be a series race because they're having a winter series race in Garland at the Indy RC World. But either way, if they have a club race or what kind of races we're going to attend that, I'm going to try to narrow down to just racing one class. It's kind of hard because I like to race, but I also want to be able to provide the content kind of similar to what I was hoping to do for Chili Bowl. So we'll pick one car and we'll go from that. But other than that, that's it. I want to thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate all the comments. Like I said, I'm going to do short videos. I'm trying to get a couple of people involved to help me out on some of the more like specific stuff, especially when it comes to motors. I'm trying to provide the most valuable content and information for y'all. So that's it for tonight. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate all the comments and all the support. So we'll see y'all on the next one.